Welcome to Cinema Sketches. I'm Dan Beasel, and I'm an artist with a love for movies. Finding artistic inspiration can be challenging, so why not draw inspiration from those movies? Watch as I create whatever art the movie inspires, and listen as I share my thoughts on the film. Be sure to like, subscribe, and activate those notifications to help the channel. Today, I'm drawing inspiration from the 2024 film In a Violent Nature. It was written and directed by Chris Nash. It stars Rye Barrett, Andrea Pavlovic, Cameron Love, Reese Presley, Liam Leone, Charlotte Cregan, Leah Rose Sebastianis, Sam Rolston, Alexander Oliver, Timothy Paul McCarthy, Tom Jacobs, Casey McDonald, and Lauren Marie Taylor. The letterbox synopsis is as follows. The enigmatic resurrection, rampage, and retribution of an undead monster in a remote wilderness unleashes an iconic new killer after a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower that entombed its rotting corpse. Woo! Let's get into it! I sure do love toned paper. Got a little dot here, and I'm just going to create a circle because that's coming into play later. Now I'm just going to do my rough sketch of the villain of this story, Johnny. He's a very much like a Jason Voorhees type, stalking in the woods type of character. Oh, by the way, there's a perspective shift in this movie. You actually spend your adventure pretty much the entire movie following Johnny. What's he up to? What's he doing? Where does he get his weird hood from? Where does he get these hooks from? Now I'm going in with my pen here. I really kind of want to get some very loose feeling lines with this, so I'm being very sketchy about it. This is a very divisive film because when you follow the killer around, apparently there's a lot of walking and people are like, it's so boring. It's just nothing but walking. Well, you know what, horror fans? You kind of got what you wanted, didn't you? Does it work? Let's think about it. So in a lot of these movies, you have a character who is the villain who returns from the grave to get some type of revenge or whatever. In Johnny's case, searching for that locket that brings him peace, that keeps him in the ground and dead, I suppose. And once it's not in his presence, he seeks it out and will dispatch of anyone who gets in his way. But these killers, and there's always a group of, say, like teens or party people who are generally the victims. So what happens when you follow the killer? Take like a Jason Voorhees, for example. What would he be up to? During the time when other things are happening, you're watching the teenagers, the victims, and getting to know them. But a lot of times people say, well, you know, they're annoying. I don't like them, and they're just getting in the way. I want to know what the killer is up to. What's he doing? Well, in this, you get to find out, and it turns out, yeah, it's a lot of walking. It's not like he's got a car or anything. You don't even know if he can drive. Going in with some alcohol markers here. Building up some tones. Lots of neutrals and browns going to be in this one. So yeah, as it turns out, when you don't have the annoying characters to get to know, you don't really care about them. And that's an interesting thing with this movie because you don't get to know these side characters. You get enough, but you don't really spend any time with them. You don't even get the time to really dislike them. And that's part of the slasher genre, really, is that you kind of don't like some of these characters, so you go, yeah, that's pretty cool. I want to see how the villain gets rid of them. Personally, I'm a fan of this idea and concept, and I find it really refreshing. But yeah, adding all these browns and stuff, making Johnny just kind of gross and dirty, because he is. He was buried for who knows how long. One interesting thing here is that the movie brings a deeper lore. You get the campfire story of Johnny. You've got a park ranger who has history with him, and you realize, like, wait a second, this is kind of a sequel, and that's interesting. So you feel like you kind of like hopped into a series, because a lot of times when you're younger, you know, maybe you don't watch the first movie in an entire series. Going in and adding some more detail and adding some more line work here. Yeah, I'm very fascinated by this movie and what it brings to the table. Apparently there is going to be a sequel, and not really sure how I feel about that. I kind of like it as a one-off, but I mean, heck, who am I kidding? I'm gonna check it out. Bringing in a brush here. I really want to darken things up. Filling it out, adding some grime and whatever else with this brush once it starts getting a little dry. I like Johnny's look in this. They did a fine job of creating a new iconic undead slasher villain. Yeah, Chris Nash definitely knows what he's doing. Also, this movie, it takes place, they filmed it in Canada, and man, the scenery in this, so good. I enjoy the North Woods of Wisconsin, so this movie felt right at home. Lots of good gore in this movie too. Ooh, just going in, kinda hitting at the plaid. Going in with this very subtle white marker here to add a couple highlights, but I'm also going to come in with this white colored pencil. Yeah, this firefighter hood is really weird and creepy. You know, like erase some lines here. I'm using the same brushes I used earlier, and I didn't quite wash out all the black from the brush intentionally. I want this red that I'm adding here to not be bright red. I want it to be a little bit grimy like the rest of the picture. And I'm just going in. I'm doing this to just make Johnny pop. I really like working with a brush. It's fun. My big Goonie head pop it in for a second. Hello. Yeah, there you have it. Just gonna add some blood here on him. The hooks in his hands. Not gonna splatter this time. Thought about it, but decided not to. Clean this up just a little bit. Sign it, and we're done. I'm a big fan of In a Violent Nature and appreciate that it brings some discussion and thought to a genre that, like its famous killers, refuses to die. The film's beautiful scenery, intense gore, and methodical pacing is something I can really sink a hook into. 4 out of 5 stars. Hey, thanks for watching. Do all the things that help the show grow, and share your thoughts on the movie and what inspires you down in the comments. Check out Corrupted Youth Podcast for more movie discussions with my son Brennan and I. You can find episodes here on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Links are going to be down in the notes. So until next time, art and at hand the world.